This will also allow the central bank a lot more control and power over directing resources in an economy. Because if you think about it, every single transaction that ever takes place, half of that transaction is done with money, right? And so one of the criticisms from an economic perspective of why communism fails is because they don't have the right information, because it's very difficult to make sure that you're directing resources the right way in the most efficient way if you don't have all of the correct information coming to you. And so with wrong information coming to you, it's very easy to make decisions that will cause massive errors in pricing and resource allocation, that you could have way too many shoes being made and not enough jackets being made. So this would give the central bank access to a lot more information so that they can use basically a surgical approach, a scalpel approach, rather than just a blunt tool of interest rates or quantitative easing. One of the ways that they would be more targeted with this is through taxation. And so technically this could, end up abolishing the IRS or completely changing the way the IRS works, and that you wouldn't need to have, that end of year taxation. You wouldn't have to, you could have to very easily do return-free filing, and transactions, income, expenses could either be taxed or deducted or credited at the time of the transaction taking place, so that it could be dynamic. You wouldn't have to rely on new tax bills coming out every couple of years. You could dynamically, based on the needs of the economy, change how taxes are given or taken on certain transactions. If the information coming in from all transactions shows that there's excess or froth in one area of the economy, they could immediately levy a tax on those types of transactions and redistribute some of that money into another area that has some slack or some capacity, in order to realign the incentives in order to keep a balanced economy. And so it drastically increases the amount of information coming into the central source, which theoretically would give them the more ability to more efficiently and effectively control an economy. The second thing it does is that it allows them obviously more control, because if you have all the right information coming in, that's useless to you unless you can actually do something about it. This is one of the reasons why their blunt tools don't work as much, having to rely on the political system to churn out the fiscal results, the fiscal policy, because that's more of a blunt tool. There's more gridlock. Things that need to happen won't happen. And so this is one of the areas that a place like China technically has a little bit of an advantage, because from an effectiveness standpoint, or from a decision-making standpoint, they don't have to wait for a gridlocked system to allow something through that will appeal to all of the special interests on both sides. If somebody with the right information coming to them sees something need to happen, boom, they can make it happen.